Listen up, guys. It's not nothing about nobody else right now. It's about us. It's our chance. It's our time. Do your part. Everybody play a part today. Last year was last year. This shit over. Make your own activity. Make something different.
Yeah, I'm about to step in the ring for the fight of my life. Hit my knees and I strap on my gloves. Boy, I've been prepping since like I was.
Welcome, everyone, to the latest edition of the Alvin Parker Coaches Show. I'm Sean Robertson. Great to have you with us on YouTube and also on Virginia Union's athletic website. We got a big show today as we recap Virginia Union's big win against Elizabeth City State, and we will set the table for Union's home game this Saturday against Bowie State University. We'll have a full house in the Players Lounge, and we also have the head coach of Virginia Union, Dr. Alvin Parker, fresh off a 42-20 win at his old stomping grounds, Elizabeth City State University. Congratulations on being 5-1 this season.
Appreciate it. Definitely.
You have mentioned to us on this show, you have mentioned to a lot of people on your media pressers, give it time, and then you'll see Jada be back. And he showed it on Saturday, 246 yards, couple of touchdowns. Walk us through that process, because I know for a coach, it can be challenging for one of your best players to say, I'm ready. I know I'm ready, but you want to kind of give him just a little bit more pause. But you were adamant about giving him his time and letting those other guys fill their roles and playing well in that stretch, and they were able to do that. But Jada stood out on Saturday.
Playing the position,
Yeah.
you know, I felt like I had knowledge on it, more so than being a coach. You know, I knew that, you have to be 100% to do what he does. So, in terms of holding them out, it was a decision, of course, from a coach's standpoint, but also from knowing and playing the position. And also knowing and playing the position, I knew the other guys were extremely capable, so to kind of carry the load until he was ready. But the next week he said, I'm ready, coach. I just was like, no, next week I'm ready, coach. Let's wait a little bit. Thought about it a little bit more, but the week that we brought him back, I thought it was timely enough for what we wanted them to do, and we kind of eased them back in. And last week he was pretty much back to his normal self.
Now, he did come back in the St. Augustine game, but he played a limited role, only had like 10 carries.
Extremely limited.
Something like that. What did you see in that game, or maybe the week leading up to that game, that kind of said, okay, let's give him that baby step to see how he'll play when the Bullets are live in a game type situation?
I think it was more so kind of meeting in the middle of him saying and feeling like he was ready versus what I was feeling at the time. And so it kind of was kind of meeting in the middle right there. So that's why he was extremely limited. I think he had about 7 to 8 carries, that game. So it was just kind of us like I said, meeting in the middle of him thinking he was ready or feeling like he was ready versus what I thought. And I think the next week he put his foot on the gas. And, we wouldn't know he was going to have a big impact in the Elizabeth City game.
Again, the offense jumping out to a big lead on Elizabeth City State. The quarterbacks played well for you guys. And again, the defense, you've talked so much about this group all year. Nationally ranked #1 against the run, holding Elizabeth City to 10 yards on the ground last week. I mean, you can add some more accolades for what this group specifically does, especially against the run all season.
I think that's a huge stat, but when you look at it, and I think what wins games a lot is that points scored. So they're doing great in that department too. They're not giving up a lot of points, but they're making a lot of offenses one-dimensional, so it's tough for people to line down and say they're gonna win a game running on us. I think those guys are doing an excellent job of controlling the line of scrimmage and forcing guys to say, you know what, we're going to go to a pass first type mode when we play against Virginia Union. And I thought our run defense was good in 2022, but these guys are definitely, putting up some numbers that at this point are historical to me. So it's good to see.
I was interested when you were talking about that stat, especially the scoring and also the pass defense. I think a question was asked to you during your media availability this week about Elizabeth City threw for over 300 yards against you. Is that a concerning stat? You came back and say, well, look, if we're holding guys to -10 or +10 yards on the ground, eventually, the defense is going to play a little bit differently against the pass, especially when you have a big lead on an opponent.
Right. You know, and of course we gave some plays Saturday I did not want to give up. You know, I'm going to be first and foremost with that, but I think, you know, some of the plays they made, I think, like I said, we had about 4 sacks, 4 interceptions, and things like that, you know, happens when teams go in the pass first mode because those guys feel like, you know what, we stopped the run. We do a good job of stop the run, then we can kind of load some stuff up in some other departments by getting the chance to rush the passer. So, you know, it's just, you know, those guys are doing an exceptional job over there. Like I said, you know, people are going to, and people might look at it and say, you know what, people are throwing for a few more yards on Virginia Union than they probably have in the past, but their rushing averages are tremendously much lower. So it's steadily, you know, bouncing out in a better way for us, I feel like.
It's almost like you're picking your poison. It's like, we're stopping the run. Yeah, we'll give up a little more on the passing yards, but you mentioned 4 interceptions against Elizabeth City. Third time this year, a guy has had a pick 6 in this game. So it's almost like, we can handle that regardless of if the numbers are maybe a little bit more. The end result is we're still stopping guys and we're winning ball games at the same time.
Absolutely. And like I say, those guys over there, you know, make a commitment just to make sure they're going to put us in and have a chance to win the game. You know, I think they started that from week 1. You know, we have a lot of experience over there and a lot of guys that got a bunch of grit. And I think, not to say we don't have it on both sides, but a lot of guys over there had the determination to say, you know what, you can put it on our back. And I think from a lot of the weeks that we've played, out of the first 6, those guys have put it on their back a whole lot.
I think I've seen on Twitter, especially going back to your offense, 3 of your running backs are in the top 10 in the CIAA in yardage, but yet 1 offensive lineman was selected as offensive lineman of the week in the CIAA. Can you make your case as, we need to see more Union linemen be recognized by the conference?
I definitely want to see that because those guys don't necessarily get that type of applause like a guy who's going to carry the ball is going to get. So, but they're doing a lot of the work, that front 5 that we have, and we go about maybe 7 to 8 deep on that offensive line that play. So, it's hard to pick one of those guys out probably first from anybody that's probably watching because all of them are moving people. But they're collectively a good group, and I think as long as they get an extra chicken sandwich after the game or extra box of chicken, they like that more than the CIAA giving them Player of the Week.
I think anybody would like that. Virginia Union 5-1 this year. We mentioned they have a home game this Saturday, 1:00 against Bowie State at Hovey Stadium. We'll talk more about that with the gentlemen in our Players Lounge segment. A couple guys on defense and also one on offense that plays an integral part in Union's rushing attack this season. We'll hear from them coming up next on the Alvin Parker Coaches Show.
The styles you want, the brands you love, with the service you deserve. Better Menswear. From formal to casual wear, we carry quality men's clothing at sensible prices, where fashion and service meet affordability. That is Better Menswear.
Welcome back to the Alvin Parker Coaches Show. This is our Player Lounge segment. We get to talk to some of the athletes on the Virginia Union football team, fresh off their win against Elizabeth City on Saturday, and they get a chance to come back home, only the second home game this year. We got a fullback who played Coach Parker's position. We got Joe Johnson with us in the Player Lounge. We got Armani Burton and also Donald Gatling, fresh off his pick 6 against ECSU. So we'll start with the guy who got into the end zone on Saturday. Third time this season, defensive player for Union had a pick 6. So tell me, what did you see on that play and what was your reaction when you got into the end zone?
First off, it happened. I made the play off of my corner making a good play on the ball. Like the drive before, I didn't make the play. My defense coordinator was like, hey, "That's your pick. Next time, just go with it and make the play." So I got a chance to make the play. I just caught it. So I caught it. I just felt like, hey, this is my time. So when it scored, and honestly, when I got in the end zone, it felt good because it's honestly my first one since I've been in college after leading the state in high school. So it actually felt pretty good.
So did you go on the sideline and tell Coach Pointer, hey, you were right? You saw it exactly right?
Nah, I just celebrated with my teammates because honestly, we always get in. Now I ain't gonna say get into it, but we always have altercations like that where you tell me something and I just take the coaching and just go make a play the next play instead of just talking back. Just make a play.
Gotcha. Amani, a key part of this defense that's number 1 in the nation against the run. When you hear that stat, what goes through your mind, and how do you guys amongst that group talk about how dominant you guys have been against the run this year?
Yeah, we actually do. On defense, it's a mindset. Stopping the run and earning your right to rush the passer, and it's not just me. The guys around me, they take part in it too. So it's a big thing for us, to stop the run. It's the mentality thing. We got guys like myself, Isaac Anderson, Shamar Graham, Jabril Norman, guys like that. Isaiah Dickens, those guys really pride themselves on stopping the run and really getting gritty, getting down and dirty with those other guys, and just showing them that they can't move us. So it's just a mindset thing on that side of the ball. That's just what it is. That's how we prepare.
Coach mentioned the numbers: 4 sacks, 4 interceptions against the Vikings. I mean, you were probably in plenty of positions where you pin your ears back, you rush the passer. How do you balance stopping the run and playing the run well like you guys have been doing, but also getting to that mindset of, okay, we got to go after the quarterback and make a play either for ourselves or for the defensive backs to make a play as well?
That's another mindset. Once you stop the run, you earn your right to rush the passer. And like I say, that defensive line, like I say, Jockey Hillier, he pinned his ears back too. He adds some variety, amongst the D linemen. We all got a different skill set. Guys like him, Isaac, add a little bit more fire to it. And that's just how we play. Pin our ears back, all 4 guys get ready to rush the passer.
Joe, you almost, I guess we call you a glorified another offensive lineman,
sir.
To a certain degree.
Yeah, Joe.
The running backs and the O-line get a lot of the credit, but that fullback position is also key. So what do you think how has your season gone individually, given what the running game has done this year?
Well, I just been focusing on trying to get better every week, and that's what Coach Riley, he kind of stressed, to get better every week. Whether we win or lose, we get in that film and we really grind on maybe the mistakes or maybe the bad steps that we might have had to just correct it and just try to get better every week. So that's my goal right now, just getting better every week with the run game.
I know Diego helps you out in that position, but I mentioned, you're playing the position that Coach Parker played when he was at Union. How much has he helped you this season in your career at Union playing fullback?
Oh man, well really with Coach Parker, he really motivates us. I really want to just try to make him proud and make the offense proud and getting the chance to get on the field and help my teammates. That's really my biggest motivation. So
now for all of you guys, I mean, you're back home. You finished the year with 3 of your last 4 at home, but you've been so successful on the road this year. How does that translate to now playing these home games starting Saturday against Bowie State?
Honestly, us playing good on the road, it just gives us the feel to we finally get a chance to play in front of our home crowd. So it's more like a put on for the city type of thing. Mm-hmm. So we just plan on to do what we do best on the road, same way we do it at home.
Monty?
Yeah, I feel the same way. People say we play a little bit better on the road, but I don't see it. I feel like we go play our type of game regardless. I know we took 1 loss at home so far this season, but due to the elements of that situation, it is what it is. And the only thing we're going to do is continue to prepare for every game as if, it was the next game. The next game going to be a big game because it is the next game. So we're just going to take it week by week, prepare the same way, and go out there and have the same goal.
Mm-hmm. They call it for rain again on Saturday. So, I mean, it's going right down your alley with the running game, blocking and things of that nature. But you get an opportunity to be at home again.
Oh, man, it's just a great feeling. We actually had a pretty good crowd even in a tropical storm.
I remember that, yeah.
So if it's not a tropical storm, I want to see how many people that we can really have out there. So I'm really excited to see how many people can come out and support us Saturday.
Now, you guys have had great success against the Vikings. But on the flip side, Bowie's had your number recently. It's 4 out of 5 against them. What needs to change for you guys to come out on top Saturday?
Honestly, with our team, don't nothing need to change. We just need to keep the same stuff going day by day, getting better. It's not about who we got next. It's about the next game. That's what makes it the best game because it's the next one.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Monty?
Yeah, I'm 1-1 against Bowie, so we changing that narrative. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go out. We're gonna have a repeat of last year. We ain't gonna take it in overtime though. We're gonna shut them boys out. We're gonna do our thing on defense, stop them from scoring, get the offense in good position to score, and we're gonna stop the run. And once we stop the run, we're gonna pin our ears back and get to the passer, and we're gonna knock those numbers down with those passing yards. We're gonna get more sacks. We're gonna get more TFLs, and we're just gonna be more relentless as usual. Every week is to take it into the next gear, get more savvy, get more gritty, and get more stops. That's the thing.
And Joe, before we let you go, just the fact they gave up big runs against VSU on Saturday. I know you guys saw that on film. That's when you see that, I guess those eyes got a little bit bigger when you was like, we got chances on the ground against these guys.
Yes, sir. It does make my eyes get bigger, especially with the big game, and but how Coach Parker really teaches us. It's really just we trying to go 1-0 every week. So if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So we prepare as hard as we can for any opponent that we have. So it's just another day at the office for us.
Well, guys, I appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us here on the show, and good luck to all three of you Saturday against Bowie State.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you for having me.
All right. When we come back, we'll have one more segment with Coach Parker as we talk about Bowie State at home on Saturday. That's next on the Alvin Parker Coaches Show.
Football is more than a game. It's a legacy built by trailblazers who paved the way for the next generation. I remember the doubters, but I refuse to let anyone define my limits. To the game changers who came before us and to the ones who are yet to step into the field, keep pushing boundaries, keep breaking records, and keep leaving your mark.
All right, our final segment this week on the Alvin Parker Coaches Show. We mentioned during the Players Lounge segment, Bowie State, they come to Hovey Stadium Saturday at 1 o'clock, only the Panthers' second home game this season, and you're looking for your first home win against these guys since 2016. Got to go back a little bit.
Definitely.
What has there been a common theme to why Bowie State has been successful against you guys in recent years?
I don't think it's anything. They play better, they play harder, and they've come out with the win. I guess that's all you can say. You gotta give credit where credit's due. And in all those years, that's pretty much been the game that's kind of knocked us out, of the contention. We win that game any one of those 4 years, we're in the championship. So, I think we put a little bit more emphasis on that game in the past than we have, than we do now. We want to make sure we just handle it week by week now. They happen to be like next. So, but it's always been a gritty game, when I played here. No matter what the records were, or no matter what it was, Bowie versus Union was always a tough game, no matter what it was. So it's kind of to be expected.
You mentioned, it's now a 5-game season. You mentioned that before, Elizabeth City. One is already down. Do you put more weight on this one because it is a real good rivalry between you guys? And like you just said, the last few years, this was the game that kind of knocked you out of championship contention, or do you just make it just another game against Bowie State?
You want to say, it's the next game, but in the back of your mind, you always say, what, these guys have been the champs 4 out of the last 5 years or something to that nature, 3 out of the last 4 years, whatever it might be. But these guys, have championship pedigree, so it's hard not to, say, what, how important this game is, because those guys have been to a place we're trying to go, So we want to make sure, but these guys have took the balance of just making sure that, we're our best selves every week, and that's kind of what I like about this squad. We've had a little bit of that in the past, but I think these guys take a marginal effort to make sure that, we get better every week. Some of the stuff we coach them on, they definitely give us some stuff to coach, but some of the stuff we coach them on, they make it, an emphasis to get better on. So, I think it carries us and propels us into the next game.
Now, that's the guys in the Players Lounge segment about translating the road success you guys have built this year to the home games, because you'll have 3 of your last 4 at home. What's the message that you will give these guys this week? Because, now everything is different. 3 of the 4 are at home. The schedule is a little bit different. You get to be at home, as opposed to the schedule, preparing will be a little bit different, I'm assuming. What's the message for the guys to now have these games at home where they will count a little bit more?
I think, the biggest thing for us is just staying on schedule. Our road schedule and our home schedule don't differ a whole lot, So I think, as long as we stay on schedule with everything we want, we check all the boxes during the week, it really doesn't matter where we play. I think the home does give us an opportunity for, a few more fans, on our side to come out, a few more guys to get dressed and get prepared for the game. Like I said, we have a large team and we don't get to take nearly half of those guys on the road, so now a lot of those guys get to dress and have the chance to participate. So it's a bunch of different things that go into a factor of it being a home game. So we get to wear the new uniforms, every little bit of thing, so it's just, all of those type of things that we get to do. But, for the most part, I think myself, the rest of the coaches, The players, everybody that's kind of involved with the team, just looking for the next opportunity to play. And it just so happens that, 3 of these last 4 are going to be at home.
How big a deal is it for those guys that didn't travel, will be dressed, and possibly you'll play away from being on the field to play on Saturday, possibly?
I think we have a good group that works extremely hard during the week. You want to take everybody, you just can't.
Yeah.
I think those guys, get rewarded for that. And with us having a few more road games and home games, those guys just didn't get as many opportunities. So some of those guys have gotten opportunities, and hopefully some of them get some on Saturday. But anything that we have to do to win a ball game, that's what the message is. Find a way to do anything we have to do to win a ball game.
The one key, if you can narrow it down to one key to win Saturday against Bowie, would be what?
I think it's kind of hard to say one thing, but I think the main thing is just play Panther football. That's kind of the biggest thing. The things that we kind of embedded in these guys on offense, defense, and special teams that we kind of, say is our style of play. As long as we play Panther football, I think it's going to be tough for anybody to beat us. So if I had to say one thing, that'll kind of be it for Saturday.
And we expect hopefully a big crowd on hand at Hovey Stadium. There is rain in the forecast, but it's not that tropical storm that we saw a few weeks ago against Fayetteville State. So come on out, see the Panthers in action against Bowie State. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock right here in Richmond against Bowie State. And don't forget, next week we'll talk about homecoming. A great game for Coach, and probably one of his, I guess, toughest games to prepare to kind of get the guys mentally sharper. We'll talk about that on next week's show. The Players Lounge will be full as usual as well. We hope that you will join us on the Virginia Union YouTube channel and also on VUU Athletics. You want to say hello to Mom?
Always. Hey, Mom.
She's watching, I know.
Always.
So for Coach Alvin Parker and also the players who joined us this week, Joe, Armani, and Donald, I'm Sean Robertson. Thanks for joining us on the Alvin Parker Coaches Show. We'll talk to you next week at this same time.
This for the ones who've been stuck in the mud, searching for hope. Trust me, I know what it feel like to drown on my problems, but God came and threw me the rope. Can't wait to look in his eyes. All of my life I've been battling lies. I found the truth and took off my disguise. Come for my head, I still live for the prize. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I was in the city going down, trying to blow. Everything changed when I let it go.